I look upon you with pity, my lost child.
Souls-like games, up until recently, were amongst the most underrated mobile gaming. Thankfully, a lot of developers build a community for it by bringing a lot of ports to mobile. With that said, I'm gonna be showing you the best we've got today, Souls-like action RPGs and such, to play on your Android and iOS devices. So, one of the finest visual achievements in mobile gaming since its release. And number one, this has got to be it. We're not gonna get around this one, there's no way. We're gonna give it to Darkness Rises, regarded by a lot of critics as a next level mobile RPG that should at some point, at least, come to PCs, if not the consoles. See, not only this game has a decent gameplay and a lot of fast-paced action, but a rich storyline, a campaign story mod that is made to feel like a God of War in feel. It's a free game, about 1.5 gigabytes in total, and plays only online. If you like a rather decent equivalent of the console Monster Hunter games, I wouldn't say as big as Monster Hunter Rise, no less either. Year over here is what you want to pick up and play on the go right now. Probably, if you could. You see, it's an action RPG Souls adventure with just gacha elements and a bit of server malfunction. I would personally give it a 20 out of 10 if the game didn't have those two. But nonetheless, it's a wonderful game, best graphics in the list. It's about 4 gigabytes in total, that's the biggest downside of it, and you play online. Even though it's been out for over 3 years, by far, the best Souls-like action RPG you can have hands on mobiles is Pascal's Wager. I've mentioned the game before, it's one of the better games to play with a controller. Highly recommended if you have one, because on the touch screens it's quite clunky and hard, and it's a paid game for that reason. The graphics are fantastic for mobile game and feels literally like you're playing a console game. Really supportive developers too. It now even has a DLC and plays offline. See, Elder Scrolls Blades, however, not to be confused with the ES Online, well, I think it's one of the lesser mentioned games in mobile gaming for one, it's a 4-year-old game and it used to be quite clunky. So right now, no matter if you're a returning player or totally new, it has turned into the most amazing action RPG on mobiles. I mean, it's not really an action RPG, you'll get the hang of it, whilst offering the most amount of content on top of the best graphics in its own genre. This is Bethesda's Softworks official port with original soundtracks, one of the most amazing replay values, and it plays all the way free. Now, at number 5, you see, if you want to go straight to the point, no messing around, right into the battle, you should definitely give Animus games a try. Although paid games in nature, $6 for each piece, Animus Harbinger and Animus Standalone are both some of the best Souls-like mobile games on the platform. Unfortunately, you see, for development issues, the games were not ported to Android. I mean, they were very briefly and then taken down, and are remaining to this day iOS exclusive. These games are both as gloomy and brutal as Dark Souls game, with slightly stiffer gameplays. I would give them a 9 out of 10 each.
It's been a while, Commandant. What's with the surprise?
Now, here's the thing. Had you decided to go for something a bit easier to pick up, Punishing Great Raven is, in my opinion, the hardest game to put down and the easiest to pick up at any time of the day. I mean, it's so addictive in pace, you probably want to take a work before deciding to have a go with this one, or decide to start. If you haven't already, it's mainly an action adventure or hack and slasher, but with Souls elements, a lot of boss fights, and made for both beginners and hardcore veterans such as yourself. It's an online game though, and about 4 gigabytes in total. Number 7, it's One Punch Man World, which is currently in closed beta and out on both platforms for like a week. I've mentioned the game before in case you missed it. It's a free-to-play action-packed RPG, very action-oriented Souls in portions, letting you embark on a new journey and relive the story of the main character himself, named as Saitama. Personally, I've just started knowing him. Here's the trailer. One Punch Man World is said to be coming out of PCs and consoles as well later on in the year, and it's taking you a whopping 4 gigabytes just like the previous game, and it also plays online. Number 8, we have Revenant Knight, one of the few very underrated games, and the reason is it's not getting any more updates. With this one, you see, you will have a great Souls-like action, if not the best in the list. That is cloned off of Dark Souls franchise, to play on the go. You see, Revenant Knight is to this day one of the most challenging games. On mobiles, you can play this one with the controller, it also has mouse and keyboard support, and since I played this one myself last year, I've been really waiting for a sequel, but that's just been to no avail. It's a good game.
The plague that befalls Shar is not of this world.
Now look guys, The Shadow Sun is perhaps one of my favorite mobile games of all time. It brings the classic Knights of the Old Republic type of gameplay and mechanics to the Souls genre, on top of a really rich storyline and a very well made atmosphere. This game is, I would say, criminally underrated. I mean, it's an old game, that's one reason, but it's definitely for you, it's a must play if you're into Souls-like or action RPGs. It has legit graphics, gameplay is awesome, works with the controller, 10 out of 10 recommended, and if you're looking for classic games or something nostalgic, this game was made over 8 years ago, but still works just as fine as the first day. And at number 10, probably for the 100th time, been amongst the best offline controller support games on mobiles, regardless of its genre, we have the one and only Grim Valor. This is a Souls-like hack-and-slash RPG platformer with literally the most fine-tuned gameplay system on the platform, works with any controller, and it has just one downside, which is you can play the game for a couple of hours for free, but then you have to pay for the full game. You might want to know, out of every 10 people that tried this one, 5 have actually purchased the game. Here's 10 more on the go, amazing free games to pick up and play right now.